Cameron is that an hour behind?
Hello, everyone.
Morning, it is 11:30.
Or
that's right.
afternoon.
Yeah. Hello.
Or...
That's right. Yeah. Deborah, how are you?
I'm all
good,
right.
good. Lovely. Thank you very much. You're, Charles was saying you zipped up them stairs very well. Do you do a lot of exercising?
I do exercise a lot.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I love running.
Right.
I
yeah.
don't run anywhere. What am I talking about? I don't love running. I love running to get. I like being late. It forces you to run.
Okay, I'm often pushed into situations where I have to run away a lot.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's not voluntary.
What sort of exercises are you doing?
I do.
Is there a specific?
I do Pilates for my core strength because I have a back problem.
Okay,
I have to constantly watch that. And I do weights because as you get older, weights is the answer.
What gym you join to?
A really bad one that I never go to because I really can't be bothered going to a gym because I always feel ill when I come out of the gym.
Right.
So I just do weights at home, really, online.
Oh, okay, right.
Personal trainer on Zoom. That's what I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. She's in New York. I used to live in New York, so she and I have stayed friends. And
so how does that work? Are they literally watching you, or is it you go back to them once a month?
She's watching me every week, and she's Polish, lives in New York, and she just screams at me that I'm not doing enough, and I love that. I love being screamed at by a Polish woman.
I was going to say, you pay a lot for that.
Exactly, and it's worth it. It's worth every dollar.
Do you? Could you have an AI personal trainer? I suppose it would work.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
they learn you as you learn. Because you'd see the computer could pick up on posture and things like that.
Probably, but I don't want to put this woman out of work.
Right, yeah. That's very good of you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Do you remember the film? What was the film with the guy it's a robot behind a glass wall?
iRobot? No, I know what you mean. And he's in love with her.
Yeah,
Deus Ex Machina. Ex Machina.
Oh, that's why I couldn't remember it. Yeah, what does that mean? Ex Machina.
Out of nothing comes.
Oh, it's Latin. I thought.
Well, Deus Ex Machina is Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought
that's the idea of like and it's alluded to the spirit or the soul. That's often referred to.
But I saw something recently, and I thought, he was saying that. What's it called when there's that test? Is it the Turing test? Back to the robot. And they were saying, this guy was saying that it's supposed to be, the billionaire guy.
Which one?
He's the one that owns the robot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, in the film.
Evil.
In the film,
right.
The character.
The thing is that it is testing Turing, but it's testing the audience because they're saying he's the AI. And he's created the robot, and you're not picking up on the fact he's testing you to see if you've noticed that he's actually the robot. That's why he's quite black and white, sterile. And
that's quite tricky.
And I thought, that works.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I have to rewatch the film.
Yeah, they're saying like he's testing you.
You, the audience.
Yeah, and that's why when you watch it now, because I'd only watched it recently, I thought, oh yeah, he's quite robot. He's quite sort of like a loner. He doesn't seem to have anything going on other than the work. And so yeah, he's real. He's the technical and logical. I thought, that's quite good. Charles, you're not impressed?
Well, no, it's like the reverse Turing thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
in that they immediately tell you, yes, this is a robot.
Yeah,
there's not a doubt about whether you're communicating with it. They go, no, this is a robot. Look, they're not trying to look. They have a humanoid face, but it obviously has mechanical bits in that. But can you accept that do you think that is communicating like a person?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a slightly different Turing test.
Have you seen the robot video that's been going around recently? In these test centres where they've the AI robot things, or an actual robot.
Or the Stanford.
I don't know, and it went mental. Have you seen it? Oh yeah, so they've got this robot that they've built, and it's like they're using the security camera. It's in one of these advanced places, and it's got the arms and legs. And then it just starts swinging its arm, and everything starts smashing up, and the guy has to jump out the way because this thing just goes absolutely doolally, and like things are flying and wires are being pulled out, and he jumps out the way. So, there's always, they call it Ghost in the Machine. There's like 1% where it could just completely go nuts.
Well, that makes sense. That sort of reflects.
But when you watch it, you go, and he jumps out of the way, and the thing's metal's flying.
Well, actually, that's lower rate probably than people.
Exactly.
Maybe about 10% of people are out their minds. So I think,
talking about the meanings, this might not go anywhere, but the 28 Days Later film, 28 years later.
Yes.
Have you seen the trailer?
I haven't. No.
Oh, okay. You've seen it.
Yes.
Oh, so there's a bit in it. Have you seen the films?
I think a long time ago.
It's not going to go
28
anywhere.
Days Later is ages ago, isn't it?
Zombie rage virus.
Okay, forget it.
I've done my movie revision.
But basically, they're saying the Rudyard Kipling a poem through the whole thing, and it's about Mark John and Carry On and all that. But I was reading it. It said it's apparently he's talking about the zombies because they've evolved where they now don't have to, they can survive and they have to keep going and they have to keep walking, like March boots, all that. Okay. And they're saying if you read it, it's actually talking about the zombies, like lack of food, not having a growing chain, carry on. And I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. Right, you haven't seen it, so let's get into it.
No, I haven't seen it, but I will go home.
What was the last time you went to the cinema?
Oh my!
You went out and sat.
That's a good question.
Are we talking sort of years ago?
I'm trying to remember the last time I went to the cinema.
It must have been a while ago then.
Yeah, I really can't remember when I saw a film last, because I tend to watch things at home.
I remember going. I remember
that streaming has destroyed.
Yeah,
it really has.
That's what my husband does. He works in streaming.
What? Anything specific?
Well, he started Now TV for Sky.
Oh, wow.
Then we moved to New York and he started Peacock for NBC.
Right, wow.
And then he went to Roku and did their streaming, and now he's not got a job.
What, in streaming?
Yeah. Well, it was all because we moved back to the UK because we were living in America.
Yeah.
So then he was commuting like a lunatic, and he decided he didn't really want to do that anymore because it was a lot. So now he's like living in Ibiza.
Because you did
he's coming home tomorrow.
You did comedy in New York.
Yes.
So that's when you was living there.
That's when I really got my comedy chops.
How long were you there for?
Moved there in 2019 and we came back about a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you've only just got back? Oh,
yeah,
right.
sort of. It feels very... And I go back a lot because I go back to produce shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How long have you been doing comedy here?
So I'm an actor by trade.
Yeah.
And I started... Because everybody told me I was so funny. I was like, I'm not trying to be funny. Why can't people take me seriously? But then after everyone telling me you should really do comedy, I did a course in 2010 called The Amused Moose. It's a great... I can't believe I'm plugging this for free. Yeah. Logan, thank me. And I did this course, a 12-week course, because my friend...
12 weeks?
12-week course, yeah. So I was in the playground with my eldest is now 20, but at the time she was 3. And I was just in the playground talking to another mum. Oh. And the other mum happens to be a brilliant ventriloquist you may have heard of, called Nina Conti.
Oh, yeah.
And she said to me, I don't understand why you're not a comedian. I was like, why? I'm not trying... Why? She goes, it's because you've got such a dark sense of humour. I said, I don't want to do it. I want to do Shakespeare. Yeah. She goes, honestly, just do it. So she signed me up for it, and then I did it. And then
what does the course entail?
Basically, learning how to write a
comedy.
Really good 5-minute set.
Right. Okay.
The structure of a 5-minute set, so that you are learning how to write jokes. There's a structure to it.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you've either got sort of talent when it comes to performing, or you learn that as well. I mean, I happen to be, a sarcastic little... Right, yeah. Well, I always was sarcastic. I probably shouldn't swear on this podcast.
No, go for it.
Okay. So I thought I'll use that sarcasm vibe that I was raised with in my family and to my advantage. So it's just about timing, and I love meeting live audiences. I just love that. I get such a kick.
What's other than sort of setup and punchline? Is there any more of it?
There's a kicker. Oh,
what's that?
That's when you just add another layer to the joke. And also there's sort of the rule of 3. Yeah. So if you're going to talk about something, talk about it in 3s, and it's pretty self-explanatory.
What do you mean talk about it in 3s?
So, for example, I start a set where I talk about the difference between living in New York and living in the UK. And I have sort of 3 examples of that.
Right. Within each joke, so not the whole set.
Yeah, with each theme. Or you could then take that, because it can be a superstructure. And then if you're writing a longer set, which I need to do because I'm doing a one-woman show quite soon, I need to actually commit to paper. And that would require me to look at it in a bigger way.
Yeah, of course.
What am I actually trying to talk about? Like identity, for example.
Yeah.
And sort of, am I going to start with childhood and what was my birth experience, for example? And then maybe at the end, I'll come back to the fact that my mother told me, oh, yes, you were in distress when you were born because you swallowed your own shit. And then I thought, well, that's a great theme. I'll talk about that. And then at the end, I'll talk about having a bowel problem.
What did your husband think about?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's called...
No, you didn't.
It's called babies born in distress. It's because they swallowed their own meconium. My mum told me all this because I said to her, out of interest, like when I was working with some alternative therapy, she goes, I need you to find out about your birth story. So I said to Mum, I said, what was it like? Everyone should do this, by the way. And she goes, oh, yes, it wasn't great. You weren't crying, which isn't a good thing, because you'd swallowed your own meconium. I think it is called that. Maybe Google it if I'm wrong. And I said, what are you talking about? My mum's from Leeds, by the way. I'm not just doing a fake accent. And she said, yes, that was very distressing. You did that. And then I thought, what a great... sort of metaphor for life. Sometimes you just have to swallow shit. You know?
What isn't if you've ever had a job, I mean,
exactly. If you've
do everything every day.
Isn't there some sort of correlation between I read an article on this about cesarean section. It's not it leaves you lacking something because
I think there might be something.
The bacteria that you need to come through. Like that's into the world. You don't have that when you come through the. Oh, let's get off of this.
Maybe. I mean, there's a whole world of. I'm looking
at Charles. Charles has got nothing.
I mean, everything goes back to like you're in your mother's womb, and if she's in distress, you're in distress. So there is that as well.
Yeah, but they think a lot of people that do extreme jobs, they think the mother was in stress and they're used to the adrenaline, like in vitro. So when they've come from a bad family, your wife's been yelled at. So there's an extreme, the adrenaline's going up and down. And when you come out,
you want that rush.
Now need that.
That's so interesting.
It's a random, might not be.
Well, I did a one-woman play once when I was pregnant with my third, and I was jumping up and down dancing like a lunatic. That's why I did my back in.
Right.
And now she's a really good dancer.
Yeah, that might be taking it a bit.
She's brilliant at TikToks.
You don't know if music comes through, movement.
Definitely music.
Even just like the movement of
just
wiggling.
The music.
You never know. The brain.
I nearly gave birth on stage, actually.
Right,
but I didn't. I I pretended to because I thought it would be funny as
that would
closing scene. Yeah. I did. It was about. I played a character called Cindy, and she was an X Factor reject. Right. I made it up because I was bored. Really, I was like, I wonder how I can get back on stage. So I thought, I know. She'll believe that Simon Cowell rejected her because she was pregnant. But actually, she's just got no talent.
Right.
And so then I just sing. It's a 45-minute experience of me singing about how annoyed I am. And I also believe, because I'm deluded, my character's deluded, that Ollie Murs got me pregnant. It's called Pop, Pop, Pop. And the last scene is the character singing Push It.
Oh, right. So,
I thought was genius.
I suppose it's kind of like when you pretend to go for a poop sometimes, and then you can actually nearly poop yourself.
Oh, God.
That's very American of you that you just said poop.
I was...
You watch this a lot of TV.
Were you trying to make it less disgusting?
Yeah.
That's what Americans do.
Comic.
My kids when we first moved to New York, my kids got into trouble for putting their hand up and saying, can I go to the toilet?
Bathroom.
They were like, oh my God.
Bathroom.
I got an email saying, can you tell your kids?
Toilet. I suppose it's quite hard.
Bathroom. I'm like, but they're not having a bath, love.
There's not a bath there. There's not a shower.
Yeah, because when I'm somewhere that's quite nice, I always say bathroom and they say where?
Restroom. I'd like to rest in a restroom.
Yeah, I had that a lot in America when I was in New York. Like, I'd go, sorry, can I use your toilet?
Imagine if you said, can I use your shitter?
You're an only child. I've never asked you.
Lonely or only?
Only. Yeah, well.
Yes and yes.
You can answer the same. One answer required.
Why did you get onto that? You're bullying
No, I was just talking about kids. I thought I've never asked him.
Oh my God. When did you two meet?
No, but this is the thing. You never know with him.
Well, men
I only found out a couple of years ago he went to public boarding school. And I've known him for years.
I could tell he was educated from the moment I met him.
The poop thing.
Yeah.
It's always.
Talking to kids, talking about, I just heard this the other week. Do you know, they think they now know why you hiccup? Because think of there's no natural, for it to have been around forever, it has to have served a purpose, otherwise things fall away.
Trapped wind?
No. It's
2 pints plus. There we go.
No. It's, they've now realised that when you're inside your mother, you're
Again, we're going back to this.
Okay, then. We're going in that direction. Sorry,
I don't know anyway,
when you're inside your mother, you were saying.
No, they know that the babies are basically hiccuping about 18 times a day. And what it is they think, because it didn't make sense because it stayed around and things shouldn't, it means there must be a reason. It's strengthening your lungs.
Oh, so you should get wasted now.
So, because when you come out and you have to breathe, you haven't been really. It was that accidental thing meant that when you wake up, your lung muscles are slightly stronger. That if you haven't been hiccuping, your lungs aren't as strong when you come out. So the hiccups are actually just a throwover from when you're inside, and babies started hiccuping, and those are the ones that survived.
Wow, where did you read that?
I follow a lot of sciencey things, and I think they've now correlated because they followed it up, and they think, that's why.
What about yawning? People catching the yawn.
Well,
I could yawn now, and you could do it.
You just mentioned it, and I just suddenly.
They think that might be a communication thing because animals do it, and it might be, it's time for bed. So one person does it, and it's an accident. It's a bit like why you smile when somebody else is smile or somebody's talking a story. It's in you to be communicative.
Right.
You can also make your cat do it as well. Like if you yawn, your cat.
Oh, really?
as well.
My cat will just slap me if I yawn in her face.
I read a book, and they were talking about
their face, but like I'm saying, just next to them, and they just go. It's sort of contagious but even cross species.
With cross species. Yeah. Okay.
There's an American guy who wrote a book, and he's talking about you have a dog, and you teach it, you tap the tin to food and all that, things like that, and you
ring the bell, and he comes.
He's got a theory. He's got a theory that he thinks the dog is actually learning your behaviour, and it acts in a certain way because it knows it brings out a behaviour in you you then act thinking it's
so
towards
the dog's controlling us. Really.
So it's actually it's doing things to make you think that you're in charge.
Eddie Izzard said a whole bit about Pavlov's cat.
Pavlov's cat.
Yeah, and they said you never hear about Pavlov's cat, and they said Pavlov's cat, and they said you ring the bell, cat walks over and says, "What's this? Food? This is garbage.
Yeah.
This isn't the nice stuff." Right, I'm off out.
I don't know why anybody has cats.
I'll see you next week.
I have a cat and a dog.
I don't get the cat.
And animal.
You know that the cat doesn't care about you. Like it's got no sense of.
I don't know. Mine is.
They might not care about
sweet.
you, but like it takes
Me,
a while.
It's just a different vibe. That's all. It's like they're independent and they don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't care. I just happen to be in this house and I'll go where I want.
I don't get it. It's like having a housemate. Rather than a child.
Also,
basically.
they're really clean.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an animal that goes outside.
They're low maintenance compared to a dog.
I'm not picking up anyone else's poop.
Well, when they say...
And we're back to that subject again. I don't know what's happening. It's gone very scatological.
Yes.
They know... This is not...
I did that for you because you've got a public school education.
Yep.
Let's not make this a running theme through this. I can feel it happening naturally.
Right now? You need to go.
So, the cat... when people they know that this is true now. This is like from years ago. That when they think, I'm allergic to cats and cat hair. It's not. What you're allergic to is cat saliva, and they lick the hair, and this is definite now.
My mother-in-law always says she's allergic to cats.
Yeah, it's because they lick. It's the saliva you're allergic to, but they lick the hairs.
Maybe I should get more cats.
So we'll shave the cat.
Yeah.
Well, there's no hair. Oh, we're supposed to be licking this. Oh, anyway, this is very weird.
Dear.
Right, so your career.
Yes, my career. Let's go. Talking of weird.
What did your husband think when you said you were going to do the... Did it happen slowly? Did you go, right, I'm going to...
No, I mean, when we met, I was already... we were in our 20s and I was at drama school. I was at Lambda doing...
But the comedy thing must be a bit of a... Oh, are you
really
sure?
Pleased. No, I think he's really happy. He didn't want me to ever be an actor. But I'm sorry, mate. This is the way it is.
Yeah.
You've met someone who's at drama school. I'm not going to suddenly change my mind and become a banker.
Yeah.
But he always wanted me to write more than act because he saw the money in writing. And that's what I do. I write my own material. And historically, it was always, right, I will write, like I've written a film, I've written plays, and it was sort of character comedy. And that was just generally what I was doing. So it was natural that I would end up doing stand-up. But I had to learn to drop the script because you're an actor and you rely on a script and you have something to hide behind. And it's actually really comforting as an actor to just learn something, you know where you've got to go, you've rehearsed it, and let's go.
Yeah.
And so it's a job. Stand-up is a very, very different art form, and you need to drop the script. You need to have a script, but you need to drop the script and you need to connect. So that took me a while to figure that out while I was in New York, pretty much, actually, learning that the whole point of stand-up, the audience want you to fail because that's funny.
Right.
And so I learned that when I entered a competition. I thought, right, I'm going to basically COVID sort of obviously ruined everyone's lives, but it meant that I had time to think, what do I really want?
Right, yeah.
And the minute comedy clubs reopened in New York, I just threw myself in at the deep end, did another course just to sort of refresh myself. And of course, the Americans love British people because you just say, hello, good evening. And like, oh, God.
Yeah.
They're like a different type.
They start listening.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh, my God.
Yeah. So, that was an advantage. But in the actual competition, what happened, it wasn't quite COVID, but it was like still a bit of COVID left, sort of late 21. And they were very keen to make sure things were hygienic. So the producer said to us in the green room, there were like 15 of us competing to get residency for this club. So he said, okay, we're going to give you individual sanitized mics. So you get your mic, you give them the mic, you get on stage and you put it in and you just turn it and that's it. And I'm thinking, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that. And then, of course, my other part of the brain is going, you can't do it. you will screw it up.
Oh, right.
And I was on perfect time as like number 7. He also said, if you're not making them laugh every 11 seconds, forget it. I was like, oh my God. And you've got 5 minutes and you're given a light at 4.
Right.
And obviously, if you get to the red, you're immediately eliminated. So you have to make sure you're within the 5. And you have a set. You're not going to do any crowd work because you've got to get that 5 minute in. So I get handed the sanitized mic, individual sanitized mic, and I'm on, I think, number 7. And I'd just done that morning some sort of meditation where I was sort of practicing being calm, and some mantras popped up in what I was doing. On one of them, that's it, I did some cards because I'm a bit weird.
Tarot?
So, yeah, it's like tarot, but they're sort of like, they've got messages.
Okay,
so I just thought I'd, see what happens. And one of them was embrace your mistakes. So, okay. Anyway, I left it in the brain and didn't really think about it. And then I get on stage and I'm given this mic and I'm basically get on and I'm trying to put it in. And this is what happens. I'm doing this. I'm like, and everyone's in hysterics and I'm like, so,
did you go with it?
And I was like, this is like embracing my mistakes. I think I said that.
Yeah,
It's reminding me of my ex-boyfriend. And I was doing all this, but I had to shout it because the mic wasn't working and I couldn't do it. And I knew I was running out of time. So I thought, who needs a mic? And then I just said, can you hear me? And they were all on my side because I'd made them laugh so quickly by accidentally doing the masturbation miming. And then I just got on with it. Obviously, I was thinking, I wish somebody technical could help me, but I'm just shouting my set. And then the producer paused the whole timing, came on stage, and he goes, hand it to me. I said, everybody, a man, good. And then he couldn't do it. And I was so happy. And then they were laughing more. And then eventually we got it to work. And then they were totally on my side. And I realized that people love it when things go wrong. Or are unpredictable, or there's a surprise. So I won because of that, I think.
Cool.
And
but I was going to say, I think that's when that's what I like about stand-up, and that's what I think works for me anyway. Is when there's a sort of fluid nature to it, and you feel like that this is kind of obviously it's not because you prepare a set and you have material, and obviously if you're doing it regularly then you kind of have a pattern, you know what you're doing. There's structure and a bit of craft to it and stuff, and hopefully you can riff and be naturally funny, but it's when it feels it's that art of trying to make it feel spontaneous.
Exactly.
Like that, this is the first time that I'm coming up with this on the fly.
Yeah, you don't want a script being read. Yeah.
And there are some people who come up and they obviously do their very well rehearsed 5-minute bits, and they've got the bits and actions, and they go and you're like, this is funny, but like it just feels like you're doing a one-man play basically.
Right. Yeah.
So and I like to have a bit of back and forth. I like for it to be a bit, even stuttering or whatever. But it's
laughing at your own jokes or like you're saying it.
Yeah, and just having a bit of fun. You want that feeling. You need to create that illusion. I think, for me, I think you want to create that illusion that yes, this is a unique thing, and we're having a conversation that's never happened before.
Who are your favourite comics?
I don't know anymore.
Really?
I just think most people are.
Were you going to send a Pryor or something?
Yeah.
Old school.
Dangerfield,
Yeah.
Red Fox.
It was big. I don't know why. Why were there specific people that you can remember that were just different? Like that person was that person was that. Or is it just that there's so many? I suppose it's about, I don't know. No, there were sort of like everyone had this style. But now it's just, I don't know. I suppose we're not allowed extremes nowadays, are you?
Well,
you can't be too extreme.
People say that. People make careers on saying, you can't say anything these days. And then, I'll get him banned. And then just have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So...
Yeah, I suppose I don't follow it though, to be honest.
It depends what you want. I mean, I'm doing it for the love, not as in I enjoy it. So as long as I'm enjoying it, I'm not really bothered.
Who do you like? Who
do I like? I like Sarah Silverman. I think she's sharp and really talented. And I just love her timing and how deadpan she is. And because obviously I love so many comedians that other people haven't heard of just by being in the sort of stand-up comedy circuit.
Yeah,
so a lot of them are in New York and... there's a lot. I mean, it's hard to actually come out with the names. I mean, I really like what's he called? He got into trouble. Why can't I think of his name?
Because there's a lot of them.
Red beard. You know who I mean.
Yes, and I was going to name him, and I didn't.
Why? Go on.
Why?
What's his name?
Why can't I say his name?
Red beard.
Yeah.
English.
No, American. There you go, Louis C.K.
Oh, right, yeah.
I've always liked Louis C.K.
Has he got a red beard?
Yeah,
he's ginger. Yeah.
He's ginger.
But he was genuinely one of the funniest.
He's a really
guys.
good storyteller.
He came back though, didn't he?
He's back. He's back. I think
Isn't it funny?
I think, in the world we live in, just because he did that, what he did, it's not biggie really, is it? In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
What the one-eyed man is just wanking furiously without consent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are worse things, is what I'm saying. Was it without consent though?
What's middling? Because
was it middling?
Because I think people said yes, and he would ask permission, but then
it's all really gross. But at the end of the day,
I think it's gross.
He's
I think
still funny.
I think the line.
It's like Michael Jackson's music. Some people still like his music, although he has a tainted character now.
I
remove the art from the artist. I say
that's the thing, yeah. And I think anything Jackson 5 era is okay.
Exactly.
Like maybe early
Willie
stuff.
Bryant, yeah.
Later on, it starts to get a bit. I'm like, okay, no.
When the voice dropped, that's
when the colour changed. I think when she started to becoming a lighter hue, I think the lighter he got, the worse.
Yeah. What's Russell Brand thing? I just keep.
No.
I don't understand. Is like I just hear the names. I'm thinking, has he done something?
Did you see his court appearance where he had his shirt completely undone? Oh, well, he was on his way to court.
Right.
In the news, I think.
I didn't know
he
made it to court.
And he was like, the shirt was so undone. It was like a medallion man. It was just like that. And that's how you turn up to court.
It was walking so like you know when you're like really drunk. And you're like really concentrate. You get up, go to the loo, and then you'll just go right, and you just walk like really just sort of right, concentrate very on just walking normally. Yeah,
I think
he was doing that
when they're going to court. A lot of them are using it as like a fashion thing. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
What am I going to wear on the way to court? You can't put it, especially him, like that type of person. He's always got to be thinking. But if you have an open shirt, come on, I get it, but you can't. You're going to court unless he goes in. And then
he's like,
does it all up.
I'm looking good for the rape trial. Yeah?
Exactly.
Is that what it's being
sexual assault?
I thought it was another sort of.
Quite a few accusations there.
I saw a guy yesterday. I was in Reading Station. I saw a guy yesterday with Russell Brand.
Oh, did you?
Look. I did a double take. Like it was, and he was old. He had the hair, the blooming hair, the black.
I was going to say, which era of Brand is he gone for?
Right,
the newer
2000s. Prime Brand.
Oh, yeah, the skinny jeans and all.
Skinny jeans, looking like a pirate.
Yeah.
Literally cosplay. And I'm like, dude,
it's not a good look.
Like, not during the rape trial. Actually, when he's in court for sexual assault and rape. Like,
that's my line in the sand with it all is, did you put your hands on anyone? There's a big jump between being a dirty, filthy son of, and then your hands on someone. That's another human being. Because people can say things drunk and all that, even just a bit perverted, but you can tell them to piss off. Hands on someone, that's a different person that does that. Anything hands on is a different. I think that's always the line in the sand. That's when there's no pissing about.
That's why I want my girls to have self-defense. I really want them to just know what to do.
Yeah.
And I've told them, because I've done self-defense, it's just eyes and balls. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I did.
Eyes,
I did.
Balls, run.
I don't want to.
Or run first, and then if you have to, that's what you do. You take their eyes out, and you
if you can
knee
run
them in the balls.
Just make it. This isn't worth it. They've just run off. I'm not that.
Running away, screaming is actually meant to be the first thing you do to get attention, and trying to just get out of a situation because you don't want to be confrontational. But if you're in a situation where you actually have to defend yourself, then you need to know what to do.
Yeah, I did security for like 15 years, and I remember when I started, the guy said to me, "Look, you're not a big guy." We said a few things. He said. He said, shave your head because you're not a big guy, so you're going to have to headbutt people.
You're not a big guy. You seem pretty strong to me.
No, I've got photographs of people I work with, and I look like their kid because they're all 6'5", and I'm down here.
You know what? Just because someone's tall doesn't mean that they're
No, I mean,
strong.
one was Britain's strongest. These were like...
Oh, right. Okay.
Nowadays, I'm not talking about now, I'm talking 20 years ago plus.
Right.
But, and he was right. Because he said, you're not a bit. It's 6'5". It doesn't matter how you don't get any rules. So whatever comes through that door, you better deal with it. And he was right. And he told me a couple of things. I don't want to go on about now.
But so, did you ever headbutt anyone? Oh, go on.
Just let's just say there's basically 3 things I did for 15 years, and I'm talking full time. I don't know. I'm not getting into all that because you're
gonna have to tell me after the podcast.
No, but there's certain things you go, oh, you just do that. Forget the self-defense lessons. Use this and this and this, and that's it. And that gets you away with everything, regardless of size.
Please tell me later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you afterwards.
You tease.
We could be helping.
I'm not talking. We spoke about self-defense before, and I thought, we shouldn't have spoken about all that
stuff about toilets.
Yes. Let's go back to what we really know.
Did you follow comedians before you watched?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it wasn't completely on that.
I mean, I grew up on things like Blackadder, so that was I just loved that. It's just my type of comedy, and I loved, having quick retorts to kids in school that they didn't understand what I was saying, and sort of like, you what? Because I grew up in Leeds, and I went to quite a rough comprehensive. I mean, it was a great school, but there were quite a lot of characters there, so you sort of had to sort of be a bit like, I don't know. I was just smart, I suppose. And so like watching comedy sort of helped me a lot. And I remember someone calling me something and I said, you lily-livered, caramel-kidneyed, custard-coloured cad, and which is straight from Blackadder, not Shakespeare. So, and I also love Fawlty Towers. I just love physical humour as well as witty remarks. And I love English. I studied English at university, and it was just all about like language, and I just love that. That's my sort of thing.
I watched Bill Maher the other day. I was in the gym.
Why?
The show. No, the show. Not. I've never seen any of his stand-ups.
I don't know.
To be honest,
I'm all right.
No, yes. I'm actually half. I half like what he does, and I half don't like what he does, and he annoys me with some of the stuff he goes.
Quite smart. But
that's the thing. He's got a little smuggy thing.
Yeah,
plus,
it's the smugness.
When he does his speech at the beginning, and you can hear the applause sign going up, and sometimes they laugh at the wrong bit, and he hasn't finished the joke. And you go, ooh, and you're happy for that to happen every week, like for them to be like paid to applaud. When they applaud, they laugh, and he hasn't done the joke, and they've got, they thought the pattern of the speech that's when they were supposed to laugh.
I'd love to do that in the audience. Just
randomly
go,
yeah.
Just be like, what? And like just round.
I remember
he's doing the setup, and you're going.
Well, somebody told me.
That would be a nightmare.
Just really like off-putting.
Well, no, if somebody did that to me, I would have to address it. I'd have to just stop and say, can somebody remove this person?
It's this guy got a head injury or something.
But every week, as he does his monologue, and you think, how can you be happy with that? Like knowing that they're paid to laugh. And I remember somebody telling me that they do have paid laughter.
I'm sure he's fine with it, okay, yeah.
But that's what narcissism is. That's not what Trump narcissism. I know you're lying to me, but that's better than nothing. Like, I think rather than being...
comedian is a narcissist.
But that's what... But he specifically... I get it with him. I think
comedy is a form of philosophy, personally. I think it's the best form of social commentary that we have.
Yeah, well, it's certainly the furthest out there. You need people that don't give a shit. Yeah. Even if they offend you, you need people out there.
Actually, I quite like it when people get offended. There's a comedian, he's passed away now, Gilbert Gottfried, is it?
Yeah.
Thank you. And he said to a fellow comedian of mine, she's called Olga Namer, she lives in New York. He said, because sometimes we would worry about offending people, but he said, if you offend someone, double down. So I thought it was brilliant advice, because actually that's the area. If that's bothering someone, it's really their problem.
Yeah,
it's not yours. You're just like I've been on the receiving end, and I remember I was sitting in the audience at a comedy club quite recently, actually, and somebody got on stage and they were doing quite hardcore jokes, and I was starting to feel upset about it. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, Deborah. Why are you upset? Yeah. So I was looking like quite meta moment of why I was feeling upset. And I thought, it isn't actually his responsibility, it's mine. Yeah. And but then I thought, well, I'm never going to be the type of person that complains. He even said, if you don't like my jokes, I don't want to hear about it. And I thought, okay, good on him to some extent, but the job is to make someone laugh, not cry. And I was upset, but I didn't do anything about it. I just thought, you need to chill out, maybe go home.
And that's the thing, is I think you can get away with an awful lot if it's funny, if you make people laugh. And like sometimes people just kind of, it's a sort of, I think it's more probably prominent nowadays. It's just to be shocking and outrageous, and there's not necessarily a joke there.
Yeah.
You're just saying shitty stuff. And it's just like, okay, But you can craft that. You can craft that into a joke and make it, and so people go, "Oh," and laugh despite themselves, and you go, "Oh no, God, I shouldn't do."
That's how my mother laughs, by the way. Do you know? She actually, because she goes, "Oh, stop!" She starts crying.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like, she starts crying. I'm like, "Mum, what is wrong with you?" She goes, "Oh, it's just stop it, Deborah."
This might sound weird, but did the person make you laugh at any point?
He did actually. No, he did make me laugh.
Because I was thinking, to enjoy his cheers, I thought he just sounds like a crap comedian. But you go, no, if they did make you laugh at some point.
He did at the beginning, and then he just went quite hardcore in what he was doing. I won't go into it now, but it was just quite sort of. Everyone else was laughing because they were drunk.
Right.
And it just, for me, felt like it wasn't what I would call smart comedy. So it's like, I want there to be some thought put into it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy a pun, you know. Yeah. I enjoy language games and surprises, and it's just silly as well. And also I like being silly. And also it's all about reading the room. Right, so
yes,
you know,
and that's part of being a professional because you're there to do a job, and I think that to do a job, you're there to entertain me, make me laugh, and if you're completely not pitching it right, that's not necessarily the audience. That's them, you know. It's you.
I mean, it's sort of a symbiotic relationship. But I remember this guy saying to me, he was producing a show. He said, "Oh, Debs, can you keep it clean?" I was like, "I'm about to go on stage. Thanks for the heads up." But he goes, "What I mean by keep it clean is, can you just sort of read the room?" I was like, "Sure." Okay, yeah. So I thought, right, I'll read the room, and I thought, okay, I'll just keep it, you know, pretty clean. It was all nice and funny, and then my brain did something without my consent. It just went into sort of like, because you learn things, and it just went into a hormone joke that I tell. And I thought, well, I've done it now. I'm going to have to commit to the punchline. Right. So I just did it, and they loved it. It was 300 people in an audience in somewhere like in North London. And I went, "Oh," I said, "I didn't realise you'd like that. I was told to keep it clean backstage."
Oh God, you didn't bring it.
And then I got the best heckle of my life from a woman quite close to the front who was in her 80s. She goes, "I love it, filthy."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I went, "Oh, and what's your name, love?" She goes, "Margaret." I went, "Okay, well, Margaret loves it, filthy, but do the rest of you?" And they all went, "Yes." I went, "Okay, well, I've got plenty more where that comes from." And then I committed and went for it because I got their permission.
Right, okay, yeah.
And because I got their permission, they were so excited about it. Did the joke, which was basically a dick joke, and they loved it. And it was a real mic drop moment. And I thought, you know what? I'll get off stage on that one. And the guys organising were like, "How the hell did you get away with that?" Because
did the bloke at the back say anything when you came back?
He was like clapping, like slow, like he was very impressed that I turned it like that. Okay, right. But I know I'm always learning. So I learned in that moment the difference between just doing it in an arrogant way. Yeah. Here's my material. I don't really care if you like it. Then actually saying, do you want to hear it? Do you want me to tell you about this?
Do you go to stand up a lot?
Yeah.
You do? Do you make a point of it, or you just like going?
I make a point of it. So I'm going to New York on Thursday, and I'm really excited because I booked a ticket to see a live taping of a comedian I absolutely love called Ranan Hirschberg, which is a hard name to say.
What nationality is that?
He's American Jewish. He's absolutely brilliant and just relentless, and he's a genius. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm complimenting you so much.
With the Palestinian Israel, can a comedian?
Oh, hello! Shalom, salam aleichem.
Let's get there. Yes.
Let's do it.
I was thinking.
Can we go back to my bowel?
We might have to.
Yeah.
What I was going to.
We'll see where this is going.
Are any Jewish comedians touching on that?
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm a Jew.
Isn't that sort of immediately slicing everybody in half?
Weirdly, before October 7th.
It's sort of like doing Trump. Do you know what I mean?
I did a joke way before October 7th, which wasn't a joke. It was a real story. And I've stopped doing it because sometimes it's okay. So basically, when I first moved to New York, my accent is a thing, right? It's just a thing if you're any accent. And I remember getting into a yellow cab, and the taxi driver turned around to me and said, "Where are you from? You sound British." I was like, yes, I'm British. And then he went, "You destroyed my country." I was like, I was so nervous. I was like, which country's that?
Yeah, well, let me check the list.
Which one? Yeah. Which one?
How far back?
Exactly.
1800.
Exactly.
Hang on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was literally that. I was like, oh my God. And he said, Palestine. And then the joke I used to do, which I don't do anymore, is wait till he finds out I'm a Jew. People loved it at the time, but I've stopped doing that because it sort of splits the room.
Yeah.
But then we did have a conversation, and it was lovely. But he didn't think I was Jewish. He just denied that I was.
Right.
And I said, no, I am. My parents before.
It's funny because when I was in America, I was in the gym and in Malibu, and the guy said, "Oh, you're from England?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "We kicked your asses." And I'm thinking, I said, "I don't care."
What in the war?
No,
World
the
War
Tea
II,
Party and all
good.
that. I didn't know what he was talking about. And then he started going about the royal family. I thought, I don't care. To be honest, I agree with you. It's ludicrous.
It's so funny.
I thought you thought I was going to say, I'm the wrong person. I agree with
Goblin
everything.
perverts. All right, cool.
It was the guy in. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, no, he was in. What's the blue people? The animation, Stephen.
Oh,
The blue people?
They blue. What is it? The
No,
underwater
Yeah,
now.
Smurfs, yeah.
no,
No.
modern one.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Are they blue?
Yeah, they are
I
blue.
don't wanna
They
offend
were
them.
really fit, actually. I had a crush on
Well,
all of them.
he was an actor in that. I don't want to
If
say
you're
which
into
one.
13-foot,
Yeah, I was really.
People with
I was like, I
tans.
didn't know I had a kink for blue, very, very tall.
Did you
people.
see
Like,
the
this
next one
is
that came
awakening
out?
things in me, yeah.
Did you? I heard that there was a phone line. It was a radio show, and there was actually a phone line set up for when people saw that film, the first one. They got addicted to the film. They wanted to be in that sort of community, and they had to have a phone line to say.
I wish I knew.
Talk them down about that's how I want to live. Like it appealed to something in quite a big way, and there had to be a phone line.
So they gave a phone line to 7-year-olds to call. Because adults shouldn't be thinking like that. You
Yeah.
should just
Well,
be
they
like-
shouldn't, but I assume like.
You should be watching Star Wars and just going, right, that's I'm in Star Wars now.
Well, it's just yesterday I spoke about it, and I know you watch these anyway, so I feel bad saying
Right.
this.
What?
But it's definitely a sign of things that are wrong in society when people have reaction videos, right? Because when you don't watch people, when that Google box or whatever came out,
Gogglebox.
yeah, I was thinking that is a sign of our times that will be looked back on. Look what they used to watch as program. They used to watch people watching other things.
Yeah, it's the
Now-
Russian doll theory.
And then the reaction videos on YouTube that are now a thing. They're not like weird. That's now a thing.
It's a subgenre, yeah.
But that's you crying out for emotions, connections with something. You're looking to see somebody's emotions. That's a lack of emotional connection in your. That's literally because when you don't have that, you go, "What are you doing? Why would I?" Because you're somewhere in you, deep now, because of the world we live in and how removed everything is. You want to watch somebody. You're trying to experience emotions on other people's faces. That's what's happening.
It's a friend simulator. Instead of going like, you get some mates around and watch a film, or watch
it's
this.
pretend friend. It's the emotions
and
I
like,
need.
got to hear this new song. Got to watch this new thing. Have you seen this series?
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's great. You don't do that much anymore, but you have these friend simulators like with the reaction videos.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
But it is,
and
yeah.
and you sort of can watch it with someone online, basically.
Well, I did because I did security when I came out of security. I didn't know what to do, so I did security for escorts. Like you'd have to escort them around the buildings, and I don't
know.
But one of
just drop that in the conversation there. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that made me there was I learned a lot. But what happened? One thing was how many people I did have no real. They've paid for them for like 2 hours,
Right.
or whatever. That 50% only talked. They just spoke. 50%,
I
probably
heard
more. I could not believe
People
how
are lonely.
Yeah, all night. And one would be like another thing would be a girlfriend experience. And I just thought, oh God,
Why would you pay for that? Someone to not sleep.
But pretend.
Someone to have a go. Someone to be passive aggressive with you for several hours.
Yeah.
And then
Not
go
talk.
to- go
Can you
to
come in
sleep-
and slam the
go to
table
sleep
and
try not
I'll
to
do it
hear
for
a
free.
cry.
yeah? Can you cook and
exactly.
call me up?
Yeah. I hope she doesn't hear me crying.
Yeah. Can you ignore me and tell me you hate? No, but
Are you describing marriage?
I couldn't believe how much like the girl. Just to talk. Like I don't even want. I just want to talk. 50, probably more. It's probably more than 50%. I remember thinking, wow, people are lonely.
Absolutely.
I had absolutely no idea. Like you could have sex. No, I don't want to. I just want to talk.
Yeah.
And it was a regular basis as well. Like on a Friday, the people always.
It actually gives me some hope for mankind that actually they didn't just want to go straight to banging.
No, and it was. If I have to put my money on, was it?
You know what I mean by
over
that? It's
50,
like-
I think it was over 50% of talking. Sometimes you would miss, and another thing of misjudging what people look like. Where you go, look, I don't judge people by how they look, but definitely, and you go, nope, nothing. You go, oh, what? He looked like a lunatic.
Really?
And you go, oh no, he's just talking about his kids and astrology for like 8 hours.
I wonder what it would be like the other way around with women looking for men, because I think they would want to get straight on with it if it was the other way around.
That seemed to be more about just pleasure. Like it was just pleasure. There was because they can get it anywhere anyway, and it would be specific. They'd want a specific. I don't want to go into it, but it was fairly specific. But it's like they wanted that thing there because you go, okay, they're definitely not getting that thing there. They could get sex, but they can't.
It's transactional, but it's as old as time. I mean, it goes forever. We've paid for sex, so it's not.
It's the original profession.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm pretty liberal with my attitudes.
Well, chimps do it. Chimps would do it for food.
Pay.
They don't have cash, but they'll for food they'll offer sex, so they do that. So chimps do it. So that goes back.
Makes sense.
Are there chimp pimps?
Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that.
I've got nothing.
Please, can we do something with that?
Chimp pimp says one's got leather.
We start an app. Brilliant.
Excessive jewellery. Yeah.
Clearly
Back
got
to Russell Brand.
And the hairy chest.
Yeah.
It was funny. I said this when I came on. I put the TV on, and it was Baywatch. And this is just. I've said this before, but it's just today. So I put it on, and
another program I was raised on.
Yeah. So it was the 80s, and it was clearly early, and I thought, oh, this is gross. They're just like. How old are those? Are they like 19? And the guys, I'd forgotten they'd had hair on their chest. Yeah. Like I hadn't seen that for a long time.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, so they had hair, and I thought, oh, I forgot they did that. I'm not talking about the 60s, it's like 90s. And I was looking and thinking, that's quite a big age gap, but we didn't realise at the time.
They're like, it's still that late 80s, early 90s thing where you didn't have to be like jacked to be on telly.
Yeah.
You could just kind of breathe in a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hair on your chest.
Yeah, those guys about 49 dressing like they're sort of 32 and just breathing in a lot.
It was funny.
Young girls.
I noticed the hair on his chest. I haven't seen that for a long time.
You go, what's that with it? Yeah, it's weird.
On TV, on light entertainment.
I like a hairy chest. I've got a lot of friends who are now waxing, and I'm like, okay. Waxing the back, I get back waxing, but leave the chest to be a full forest.
Indeed.
I think.
Yes.
Right. I like it.
Let's put that out.
I'm not lazy, so it just happens.
How's the career with the comedy worked out and being married? Because I always think about the dating thing.
Yeah.
Are there things you don't speak about?
No, there's no subject.
So if you're in a relationship, that's got to come up.
Oh, yeah. I take the piss out of my husband the entire time. In fact, he often says, please do more.
Oh, really?
And sometimes when he's in the audience, I use him as a tool because he's a tool. No, I mean, I just say I really go for it because, why not? I just take the piss.
But is his personality okay with it? Like,
I mean, he doesn't really, his emotional intelligence is lacking, so he doesn't really get upset about anything. In fact, he says I should go further, and I'm not going far enough. And I go, I actually think that's too far, mate.
Oh, right, so you're the sensible one.
Yeah, no, but I really, like I do a joke. I'd say, my husband said to me, Debs, I really want you to tell me when you orgasm. And I replied, I don't really want to bother you at work. And that's a great joke, and he loves it because it's funny, and that's the main thing. So he doesn't mind, and everybody. I mean, Joan Rivers, a brilliant comedian. All she ever did was she would take the piss out of herself because it was very self-deprecating, but she would also really have a go at her husbands, and it was funny.
She did a whole bit. I watched a Joan Rivers thing a few years ago before she died, and she did a whole bit about her. I think it was her husband's suicide.
Jesus.
And it's really dark. It was really
I can see how she
really,
would.
And it was right in the middle of this gig. She was like crying, doing it. But she kept it going. And it was really something to see, It's
brilliant.
Yeah, moving that line, and sort of swerving between sort of tone,
Oh, that's what I was going to say about Bill Maher, actually. But when I was going to say I was in the gym the other day, and it made me laugh out loud, and which is annoying when you're on your own and there's no music and people hear you. Like you go, do I try and explain? Like I was just like, I'm not a nutter because
never explain.
But I accidentally you don't usually laugh out loud, but it just caught me unaware because I was listening, and then he said so, and it was right at the end. So his Mother's Day coming up. Yeah, it must be. It was recent. He said, and don't forget Mother's Day coming up. He said, so it's time to celebrate. The women bring up your children and have to have sex with daddy. And he said, but that's about enough about the nannies. Anyway, happy Mother's Day. And I thought, oh, Jesus, I didn't. And I laughed. I thought, oh, celebrity nannies. That's what he said.
It's funny.
No, that's because I wasn't aware, because he said, well, happy Mother's Day. Blah, 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 blah. And then, anyway, happy Mother's Day. Are you doing anything for Mother's Day?
Is it now? Is it happening?
Oh, God, you don't know.
You're not really
it's
bothered.
Got to be. I think it's this weekend.
Is it in America?
No.
Is it now?
Oh,
is
America.
It today?
No,
I don't really do it.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah,
No one bothers with my family.
Oh, right. I thought it'd be a big thing.
No. I think it's quite big in America because I remember everyone saying Happy Mother's Day, and it was a really
they'll milk any. Yeah,
everything. Yeah, is any celebration.
I thought it already happened.
Maybe
it might be different in America. Than it might be. Yeah. Okay.
It'd be nice if obviously my family would notice that. But I think they had enough because of my birthday recently. And
okay, right.
That was too much for them. So
who did we speak to?
Two celebrations in 1 month.
Exactly.
Insane,
it's like,
oh no,
it's too much.
Our new co-host Rebecca. Her birthday's on Christmas.
Oh gosh.
And she said it's ruined
double-edged
both.
sword. Yeah, I bet.
Because you can't expect either one to be the main one.
You know what she should do? She should look at the lunar calendar, because I have 2 birthdays, because I follow 2 calendars, because I'm Jewish, so I follow the lunar calendar.
Oh, right.
And it means that I have 2 birthdays.
So what's that? What's the lunar calendar?
So it doesn't follow the Gregorian calendar, because from a sort of Jewish biblical point of view, we're in the hang on, or I don't want to get it wrong, 5,700 and blah. I don't remember what the exact year is. I think it's 5777 or something like that. So it's a completely different calendar with completely different months, and it goes by the moon. And I think other religions also. There's other religions. I think there's different.
Oh, so the whole template's different.
Yeah, so everything's different. And what we have to do, we actually have to sometimes add on a month to catch up, so that everything's in sync because of where it falls. So that's why, like, our festivals will fall around different times. Like our Jewish New Year is sometimes September, sometimes October, depending on where it matches. So I always think, I'll give myself my second birthday. So I always give myself another birthday.
Is that why like Easter's different every year then?
Yeah.
Because it's probably because it's Passover, isn't it?
Exactly, because that it's all about the Last Supper, which was he was having his Passover meal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Never thought about that.
So is the calendar we follow, is that Roman? Is that Rick?
It's just it's made up by Gregory. Pope Gregory. Greg.
But is that not the Romans?
Probably.
The gods is 10.
And also, it's that if you think about it, isn't oct?
Yeah, oct is 10.
Isn't it? Yeah. So but isn't it out of sync? And also, Christmas is the wrong date.
Yeah.
They just adopted that from the pagans because it was a cool thing to do to make everyone join in.
Yeah.
So actually, I think Christmas is meant to be January something. So I don't really attach too much to these dates that other people have made up. Everybody's made up.
Where is it? They've got the place where it's supposed to be. You walk in, and that's where Jesus was born. Like they build like a.
They've got the
in Jerusalem.
That's Bethlehem, isn't it?
It might be where they've actually you can see it, and I think Louis or something. And there's actual spot, and I thought, oh come on, like. Why waste your time?
They've done the math.
Don't know.
Okay, they've done the math.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's going to always be some tourist attractions going on in various places.
But to take it seriously, I think, really, you can't. Come on, that's
not. I see it as more of a sort of a spiritual focal point rather than an actual historical.
You can do that home
thing.
I mean, I think people attach significance to places possibly too much, which is why we have the problems that we have.
Yeah. We could say that about a church, really.
Yeah. I mean, I always think you can take your holiness anywhere. I listened
to Frank Skinner. I used to listen to him, and he goes to church. It's actually quite entertaining when you listen to him do stuff in Catholic churches. He goes to speak to pastors about his religion. There's a podcast, I can't remember the name of it, where 2 people, I think they're Christian, they have on celebrities that are religious, and they come on, and he was quite funny. And he talks about, he was saying my pastor should be a stand-up comedian. He said there was one time, he said the guy just come out, and he said they were talking about what is it when you give up food or
give up for Lent?
Yeah.
And he said, right. He said they come out and he said we're sitting. He goes, right. So blah blah blah. It's a Lent. There's a time for this to be there. And he said he paused and he went, "It is not Weight Watchers." So like, don't use this as an excuse to lose weight. It's about religion. And he said it was like months afterwards. He said the guy that he said we were sitting. He said he came in. He went, "Got good news. We have found the money to fix the roof." And everyone went, yay. And it's in a posh area. I think it's in the road where Ricky Gervais lives, like a nice hotel, nice road. He went, everyone went, yeah. And he went, the trouble is it's still in all your bank accounts. Oh. Everyone was like,
that's a great line.
I thought, that's pretty good. I see how it works.
Ricky Gervais is great, by the way. He's one of my favourites.
What's he doing now? What's the going on? I haven't really followed him.
Got a tour.
He brings up a stand-up. Stand-up?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I go and watch him. I've watched him live. I'm really into him. I think
he's living in England still. Was he in America?
I think he's, I don't know.
Has he got his...
Hampstead vibes?
Yeah.
I think he's back here now. But he's still, maybe, I think they've stopped Afterlife. I'm not sure. Maybe they've got another series.
So there's nothing major going on. He's just doing stand-up.
He's probably got something brewing.
Yeah. I think he's got his thing's like a Netflix special, so I'm sure he's probably got paid 100 million quid or something for that. So.
What do you think about the Netflix specials? I worry that they've watered them down. I think they're giving out too many.
If somebody wants to give me one, I will.
Yeah, I was going to say probably the wrong person.
Yeah,
I think they're great.
But I love them.
Is any of the other channels doing them, like Amazon or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
I think so.
Oh, they are.
I think so. Yeah.
The Bill Burr had one just recently on Disney, I think.
Oh right, yeah. I was going to say there must be fairly cheap to produce because that's just that one person and one room,
and they're usually doing a tour,
and they'll do well.
They would tour, and they'll do.
So my plan. So I'm doing a one-woman show in Leeds in July, and if that goes well, I'll start getting that out there, and maybe I'll take it to Edinburgh. Probably not this year, but next year, and then hopefully I'll tape it.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
I'll see what happens.
But what if you do a special or something? You put it online. Is that your material gone? Do you use that again?
I mean, no, you can use it again.
Yeah?
I don't think. I think once something's online doesn't mean that you can't use it again.
But I mean, as a special, you can't then go once because that's the top of the hill where you go. I did everything to get to that. Now I have to start again.
I mean, you do have. You don't. I mean, it's not starting again. No? It's more just like creating more and more material. There's so much material. My problem is actually I've got too much material, and I need to just focus on one thing at a time. Because, I could do an hour special just talking about my family. I could do an hour special just talking about my dog. So, you just need to think, okay, what am I going to do for this? And then I'm going to do something else.
Do you think there's a perfect amount of numbers for comedy? I always think when I do stadiums, there's got to be you've got to lose something in the amount of people that hear it. And, technology's got to be a big part.
What's the funniest number? I don't know.
No, but I think if you're doing like 10,000 people, that's got to mess with the flow.
Well, yeah, it's a very different experience when you're in a huge auditorium.
I was thinking it must be sort of not really stand up like that.
I suppose it's different to doing like back of a pub than it is to doing
because it's a media
200 people to a theatre.
Yeah. But you need to be able to do it all. You have to be able to do it all. On Thursday night, I did a gig, and then they asked me to do an auction afterwards. I loved doing the auction more than I realised because it was just banter.
Yeah.
And the charity that I was doing the auction for were like, we've never got so much money because I was flirting with men, saying, come on, Josh. John just said 250. You're going to do more, and they were like getting upset because I was what am I worth? And it wasn't me. It was but I really enjoyed doing that, and it worked. But it was like only 60 people in a room. But I don't know if it would work with thousands.
Right? Yeah, I wondered if you'd have to change the.
Well, just the sort of really the demographic in a way, and also. The space is different. Like if you're on I love doing everything in the round. I love being in the round. It's my favorite thing. But more often than not, you're on a stage and it's just.
Actually, no. I think somebody said that when you're doing the big ones, anyway, because you got all the lighting, you can't actually see anyone. You can only see the first couple of rows. Yeah, so maybe
it's different. I suppose the further you get away from the audience, like physically, like that has an impact on how you. The flow and how and the relationship as well between it. Silly example, but it's like with sort of football stadiums when they have the further the crowd is away from the pitch, it feels a bit weirder. And like sometimes they have these stadiums with running tracks around the thing, and it distances it quite a bit.
Okay.
Where actually the smaller ones are quite, where you're quite on top of them.
Yeah.
You
can actually see the stop coming out the nose.
You can lean over and grab a play. And they have to sort of go back when they're doing a throw.
Who do you support?
Reading.
Interesting.
So it's been
going well for you.
We've just had new buyers, new owners. Sorry, still about to just sign, but
foreign.
Yes,
of course.
American doesn't matter.
What about you?
The Chinese guys.
I don't know nothing about football.
Oh right, okay.
Another thing of doing security for so many years, I hated football because every time it came round, I was just like, oh God, here we go again. So it's like Pavlovian conditioning. Just immediately, whenever I saw football was coming on again, I thought, oh, here we go. We've got
Have you been to any games?
No.
Well, maybe that's what we need to do. Get you to a match.
It's no interest in it whatsoever.
Really?
I did security at a Wembley one.
I
shouldn't say
it's an experience, like going to a gig.
It's a collective.
Yeah.
It's just too many years of football hooliganism. I just can't get over it.
I think they've sorted it now.
Yeah, and it's just it's in my DNA to
really?
What's the point? I've got bigger fights I need to do. It just and the noise just everything when I hear it just reminds me of the football being on in a club and trouble, and it's in my blood, and I can't. It just immediately invokes certain things.
Yes,
like,
Grandpa.
I remember getting run over as a kid, and it was grass.
God, I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. It was long story.
Wow.
But it was by a tractor. Actually, it's quite horrific. I forget. I shouldn't have. Don't pull me off the thing. But whenever I
hope they did pull you off the thing.
Whenever I hear the, when you have like the council cutting the grass, and you hear that and you smell.
So that's triggering.
Yeah, I go, oh God, I can remember the smell of like an engine.
We need to give you some therapy, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bloody horrendous. So it's years ago. It feels like another person. But it's just the smell just goes. I go, I can still.
Wow.
It comes back. Other than that, it doesn't matter. But it's the mix of an engine, a tractor engine, and the grass. Just like. It's not. It doesn't bother me.
That's what I'm like when I swallow my own shit. The same thing happens to me.
So your husband's right with your content.
He's fine with it. Yeah, he's really fine.
Can I say this?
He's a very modern man.
Yes, as again. No. Sorry, I've committed myself now.
Started now, finished.
No, we had a co-host on here, and we interviewed a porn star.
Nice.
And she was wonderfully. She was saying about the host was saying to the porn star, or the retired porn star, about faking orgasms and all that, and the husband listened to it and did not like it one bit.
Really?
Not
I don't
one
think there's a
bit.
woman on the planet that hasn't faked an orgasm.
I think it was more about him than
A lot of guys as well.
It was a big problem.
Yeah.
But if your missus is going to, when your missus is going to interview a porn star, I thought, he listened to that one. He chose to.
And that's the point he gets insecure about. It's
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah. No, and it wasn't a little problem.
I think you've just hit the nail on the head. How insecure are you? And I think to actually have a successful.
That's why I say it was more about him than it was nothing. She was
you just
great.
need to be secure.
Yeah. Are there any subjects you don't touch? There's nothing you've ducked, complete Trump, like something like that.
I mean, I will talk about Trump. The only problem with talking about Trump now is that when I go back and forth into America, and I've been told to just be a bit careful about that.
Okay,
because he's now,
it's not a joke.
Maybe I've got a visa to work there, and I'd like to keep it.
Right, yeah.
So I do, and also I think it's a bit boring because everyone else is going on about Trump. So I'm like,
it's not like there's a lack of talk on him. Like, what specifically would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I do a character. I have a character that I started during COVID because I was so bored, and she's called Nadia Dudorov. She is a cleaner from Slovenia, and she grew up in the same village as Melania. And I used to dress up. My girls were like, "What is wrong with Mum?"
Yeah.
I used to dress up and put this fake mole on my chin and walk around the house just cleaning and doing like selfie videos and then putting it on TikTok. And there was one scene where I said, Melania always is a girl when we were at the same school together. She loved oranges. She loved orange fruit, orange color. She would always dress in orange. So no surprise to me that she ended up with orange man. So I would do that. And then I thought, shit, maybe I should take that off TikTok.
Right,
but I wasn't saying anything particularly insulting. So, that sort of thing maybe you have to be careful about because I want to keep working.
Right, you're right.
But at the same time, I'm really just going to be as natural as possible and just give you my opinions. And if you don't like it, oh dear.
I see a comedy illustration about when Trump got shot on the air, and it zoomed back, and you just see Melania on the roof, and she says like shit in Russian or something like that. Right, well on that. So, what you got? You're going to New York?
Yeah, I'm going to New York on Thursday. I'm going to go watch.
Just for the comedy?
No, I'm actually going for I'm going in and out for a friend's daughter's bat mitzvah actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's always a great celebration. So I'm looking forward to that. She's 12 and she's amazing. And my girls all did that as well. And then I'm racing back to London because I've actually got quite a big comedy festival on Monday at the Gillian Lynn Theatre.
Not tomorrow.
No, Monday the 19th at Drury Lane, and it's a ridiculous name. The comedy festival is called The Chosen Comedy Festival, and it's a bunch of Jewish comics. So it's me, Simon Brodkin, who's pretty well known. I don't know if you know Simon Brodkin. He's so funny. Ashley Blaker. Who else? Zach Marks is on it, and there's a few others on it as well. And it should be really fun. And I'm on it. I'm like a token woman.
Lovely.
So
good luck with that then. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also thank you for coming in for today. Sunday,
Absolute pleasure.
What do you do with your Sundays? You got anything major?
So I'm going to meet a friend for lunch in the next 5 minutes, and we're going to enjoy some sunshine, and then I might text my children to see if they're alive.
All right. Lovely. Well, listen, thank you very much for coming in, and we're going to keep in touch with you with everything that's going on, and sure we'll have you back on next year to see what's going on in your life.
Great, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Charles, and thank you to the crew. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Love me or hate me, God knows you made it when he let his eyes on me. 여기 네 눈이 날 바라보는 눈빛이 이미 다 말해줘. No, I ain't gonna let anyone keep me down. No, no, you just gotta keep up 'cause I ain't gonna go down. No, no, everyone just wanna get to know ya. 이미 시작된 걸. How do you think I'm sweet? I'm sweet, so sweet. You got stung by honeybee. You just wait and see. How do you think I'm sweet? I'm sweet, so sweet. 저희 키스는 없을 거야. 아마도 그럴 거야. Lazy lover under covers. 너 지금 이 느낌. Eating biscuits, sharing secrets. Now it's just you and me. No, I ain't gonna let anyone keep me down.